Let me get back to work. We'll just play this by ear and see how I go. I don't have, like I said, I don't have any game plans. My thing is survive, stop, eliminate abuse. I don't have any game plan on how I'm going to get through survival, through stopping, eliminating abuse. I recover. We're going to get to recover. And that's my focus, because stop, eliminate abuse. I'm doing that now. Survive, also doing that. So I'm doing all three of those at once. Yeah, survive, stop, eliminate abuse, recover. Um, Surviving, I think, is part of recovering. I see how people are hopeful. Start recovering now. The only way to recover is through stopping, eliminating abuse, and eliminating abuse, guys. Blaise Pascal. There's a man named Blaise Pascal. Right? Peace be upon him. Man of sorrows. Pascal, like Saladin, understood, and it's explained in the Gospels, but it's turned into gibberish. Explained in Eastern quote perceptions of what they say is philosophy and stuff. It's not reincarnation; it's eternity. But you're talking about genetic, tribal warfare that really fucks with eternity, right? And Pascal, simply adores the Gospels because the Gospels are, believe in the truth, believe in the Father who has faith in the truth of creation, obey the natural laws that are, evident, but don't believe in the lies that are obvious, and then, share caregiving, holy covenants, love thy neighbors, and so forth. And so heaven is living and sustaining the Gospels. Hell is inventing your own narrative and then believing in that narrative and then, guys, when you describe heaven and hell, see the way scientific people would see it is, oh, well, we've always got, it's like, no, you don't. But eternal wretchedness is what Pascal explains. Okay. If you accept comic books and money and fighting over comic books, you live in hell and you pass hell on to the children. And we in spirit share memories with the children. So that's like saying, no, Jesus, we don't believe in your truth and your love. We believe in magical bullshit from satellites about make-believe money, and we can solve all our problems with money, with more money. And, we'll invent crypto, we'll invent Bitcoin, and we'll eliminate Two-Town and put it in a freeway, and that's Christopher Lloyd. And so it's really fucked, and it really is. And, when you're surrounded by people that would rather try to invent a heaven out of hell than submit to faith and infinite glory and then live in the natural laws for holy covenants provided by the truth of creation. So I love Blaise Pascal so much, and the way that they would see it at the forts and the scientists that study the molecular communication in lines of it's just like you loving yourself. You love yourself. You think you can't love yourself, but you love yourself. Okay. Now I see why the rest of you motherfuckers got to learn to love yourself. But it's like, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, God, what a bunch of assholes. Well, when you betray the Messiah and you accept the devil's lie, then you think you have to learn to love yourself. I've never thought I had to learn to love Earl. Okay. Not once. Yes, Jesus loves me. Yes, I love Jesus, right? I've never tried to destroy myself because I don't feel good enough for life. Okay, I feel good enough for life. I will not try to fuck your girl when you're not looking or not there. I will not try to kill you to fuck your girl and get an insurance policy and make believe money having sex with a woman I can't trust because we killed my best friend. You can have her. I don't want her. She never loved me anyway. Right? Anybody else like Lenny Walsh? Yeah. She only wanted someone to play with, and what I wanted was love to stay, And that was Amy, and no, it wasn't Steffi. Steffi didn't want someone to play with. Stephanie wanted somebody that would do everything she said, even if it was go kill the neighbors because they looked at her cross-eyed, and I was like, oh, hell no. No. Amy wanted you to stay if you wanted to do all the things that she wanted to do, which was have sex with everybody in town on the down low and then make fun of all the other people that you're doing it that they don't know what's happening to. And I'm like, oh God, no, I can't do that. No, I don't know. That's horrible. What's more horrible? Well, let me see. Kill the neighbor because his bitch looked at me cross-eyed, or have sex with the neighbor and his wife, and then make fun if the neighbor's wife comes over to have sex with us and he's not invited because nobody likes him because he has iPad Nano. It's like, oh no, I'm good. I'm good. I can't stand Howard Stern show. Don't want to get in the Guinness Book of World Records. Don't want to pay, and stuff. It's like that. Now I already know of my own family from all the Gospels that I need Jesus to pay for my sins because I'm not worthy of getting into the kingdom of heaven, because you're going to accept the Vatican's mythology over the truth of a living Messiah named Earl. I get it. And that's what the serve the case for. And that's what, that's not my issue. That's Mike and Gabe's and Jordan's and Elijah. That's all their issue. Okay. And I can try to get Patrick to understand what I'm talking about and explain it to his mom. But if it doesn't happen, then you can't sit there and say, please choose heaven over hell. Because when I fix technology, you're not going to be able to go back and say, oh, no, Dad, I believed you were the Messiah the whole time. I didn't believe the Vatican. They mass murder people over money. Right? So you can't, there's not a damn thing you can do about that. If you're on YouTube since June of 2009, explaining this to people over and over and over again, and you explain to them you cannot lie about anything that happened in your life unless, of course, you're the president or a CEO. Okay, they can lie about things in their life and get away with it. Epstein files, I didn't pay for the president and I don't pay for the president. Okay, but you're not getting away with it because lie is obvious and truth is evident, and I am the way, the truth, and life, and you can hit it with a stick. It's not going to take the Vatican's comic book story for money in the bank and make it, the money in the bank, real as opposed to my life. So do you see what I'm saying? It's not that hard. Good God. I said it. There, I said it again. And so it's very depressing, and I understand that. But, I can carry a lot of people out of hell. I'm the strongest person on the planet. I'm stronger than all the perverts that abuse me, and I'm better than all the arrogant little selfish pricks that ignore me. And I'm totally cognizant of that. If I connect to you in prayer, and we've been connecting in prayer for a while, then life's eternal and grace is infinite. So that those people, okay. I believe, it's not that I want to believe. I believe it's just most of them are, either being brain damaged by the scientific community in close proximity, or want to, and there's something that's going on that they can't. And so I get that. Okay. And I've had lots of good because, it's hard because I'm very critical. No one's more critical of Barack and Michelle than me. Okay. But, when you saying that to your family, they're real assholes. They invaded into my house and didn't help me and didn't believe in me, and I had to do all the fucking work myself, and I'm kind of pissed at them. But the thing about it is it's like, oh yeah, well, everybody knows that Ted Cruz and Donald Trump and all the assholes employed to go abuse people because they have a badge, a gun, and will abuse people with money over money are just saints. Oh, when the Saints come marching in, oh, when the Saints come marching in, New Orleans is going to win the Super Bowl and we'll have a brown president. Oh, when the Saints come marching in. Right, so Earl, you're funny. I know. But it's half a dozen of one and six of the other. Eternal wretchedness is as eternal wretchedness does. Rockefeller has the evidence. If you're, I believe in Earl Parsons. I believe he is the 1322nd Redeemer. I believe he's the living embodiment of the Lord's Prayer. I want to live it with him, and I want my family to live it eternally. And hallelujah, hallelujah, forever, ever, and ever, and amen. I believe Ralph Earl Parsons Jr. is an apostate and a liar. I believe Jesus is God. I believe Jesus is saying he's God. I believe Jesus is going to kill Ralph Earl Parsons Jr. I believe I'm going to die too, but I don't think Jesus is going to be the one that quote unquote kills me. With my luck, it'll be old age, 104, maybe more. That'll be good luck. Okay, I don't believe in luck, but Jesus told me don't give him the ending. How long? Okay, 104, maybe more. That's what you shoot for. Okay. You deserve maybe more. Thank you, Jesus. I love you. You're the best. He's my best friend. Talking about my best friend. So yeah, Jesus is the best. And but he doesn't kill people because you command him to, like Max von Sydow thought he did with the, when he prayed, yeah, and all those horrible things happened, and he thought he was responsible for it. It's like, seriously? I understand, because, when my parents were going to get divorced and I was like 5 years old, I was calling my dad sir as I was helping him pack up his stuff to leave. He went in that night and told my mom he didn't want his son calling him sir, and he didn't want to leave, so he stayed. Patrice's biological father went to a hotel room that night and committed suicide. My mom told me about it after Patrick committed suicide in Patrice's bedroom. Yeah. I was 18 years old. And that 18-year-old felt responsible for Patrice's father's suicide. And then felt responsible for us being in that situation for Patrick to then committed suicide because of what Patrice was doing. Yeah. Because she was, and I think the instability, of Ira made it hard for Patrice to understand and be like us. And so, but when you're a kid and all this is going on and you don't have any real true guidance to guide you through, where you sit down with Krishnamurti and he explains it to you, you sit down with D.T. Suzuki and explains it to you, It's not your fault that your parents are being abused by the Vatican, the Pentagon, and the Mormon Church with money and this and that, and that they're being torn apart by violent, weird, aggressive sex cult behaviors and stuff. And yes. No, I understand exactly why my mom wanted to leave my dad and didn't want to have him raise the kids. Okay. I understand completely. Because he's a lot like Max von Sydow on the Hawaiians, when he was young, no, Jesus is God and God Almighty will do smite thee. And, it's like, it doesn't say that in the Bible. Okay. But it's like, it's hard to live with somebody that you explain to them that their religious beliefs are based off of a murdering corporation that turned Jesus's life into a comic book for a bank, that climbed every mountain and cut deals with Mussolini to mass murder the Jews and the Gypsies to liquidate their assets because they had no legal representation. Okay? It's real hard to sit down and understand things and say, okay, this is all led up to this and it's in the books and I get it, but you can't explain it to people that think it's all a bunch of magical bullshit, because it's hard to understand and explain when it's written by somebody in a cave that's been translated by people that are cave people, money, real, Mgawa, you need high credit score, get scholarship for money for high credit score, Mgawa. Build satellite to tell everybody what to do with money. If not, blow up Justice League headquarters. Mgawa, with people that don't exist. Martian come through floor. Him have superpowers, read your mind. Mgawa. All right, God damn. Yeah, Tantor. And so it's frustrating. Okay, so I understand why my mom wanted to leave my dad and didn't want to be with my dad anymore. Okay, if you didn't believe his religion, he was abusive to you. He treated you like shit. You could explain to him that his religion was wrong in more ways than one, in math and science. And he would tell you you were evil and stupid, just like my brother-in-law Lawrence. Okay, just like Jerry told me the other day. Oh, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Or it says that gold and silver are real in the Bible. It says, okay, by the people that crucified Jesus and turned him into a bank, their head banker, that they elect by putting up a smokestack, and all the people go outside and say, hey bank, if I start a tax-free organization to get people to put money into the bank, will you make me one of the guys that's not a millionaire, but hobnobs with millionaires and billionaires and has bodyguards and drive around in a thing that the president who drops bombs on people has to drive around in? Okay. See what I'm saying? It's crazy. And so I understand my mom real well. I understand how intelligent my mother eternally is. Okay. My dad is also a very intelligent human being. He's just very Roman. And the rest of my family chooses to be very Roman because they're afraid of being persecuted and murdered, like my mom and myself. And Michelle. Earl ain't doing nothing wrong. I'll help him if I can. And she did. And life's eternal and grace is infinite. And she still does. I love her. And I love her. She's not my wife, Sincere. We never got to have what, the screenwriter of Broken Arrow had with Jimmy Stewart and Deborah Page, or whatever her name is. Yeah. I never got to kiss a girl. Oh no, I kissed. Okay, I did kiss one girl that was like that with me. Her name was Edna Gomez. I picked her up and put her on her boss's step. She giggled, and I kissed her goodnight, and I floated home. I've been running, afraid to look back. Been through the motions, now I gotta face the facts. Can't make no commitments unless they're for real. But a little baby daddy shithead, right? She wanted me to be the one to raise Gilbert, and I did too. But by the time all the bullshit of her dad, his baby, I think his name was Gilbert too, but of the baby daddy that lied and all that shit, had cleared through, I was already dating Law, and Law was possibly most likely pregnant. So I couldn't break up with Law to go out with Edna. I explained it to Law. I said, she was like going to be the love of my life, and this stuff happened. She asked me to move to get away from her abusive boyfriend, and I'm going to go help. And I went and helped her. I came back and told Law I helped her, and I told her I was with you, and it's done, and, okay. And I told Law. And it was uncomfortable for Law because she was like, God, this guy is so pragmatic. He's so honest. He will not lie to you at all. No, I won't. I'll, if it doesn't come up, I'll keep it to myself. But if it comes up, I'll tell you the truth about it. Like Stephanie and her hair, right? I'm not gonna lie to Jesus, okay? To make you feel comfortable. I'm not gonna lie for you. I'm not Anita Baker. I hope you think I'm good enough. I hope you believe in chemistry for two. So we'll get through this, guys. We'll get through this. Life's eternal, grace is infinite. And eternal wretchedness is accepting selfish lie over the truth of creation. And so we'll get through this because life's eternal and grace is infinite. Have faith and jump. I like Judeo-Christian too. Okay, guys, so I love you very much. Nobody's playing me in my head. If I connect to people in prayer because they're praying to Jesus and this is confusing and it's scary and it's vicious and it's mean and it's selfish, they pray, they believe in me, I'm the guy like Jesus, I help them. Okay. Their family tells them to believe in Jesus, and they do. And it just so happens Adam, Moses, David, Jesus, John, Earl, the son of Ralph and Mary, he's the one who performs the apocalypse. It's Earl. Jesus tells me that over and over again. It's you, Earl. I know. Okay. I did not perform Exodus for Moses. Moses did it. I did not go into the lion den for Daniel. Daniel did it. I did not go to prison for Joseph. Joseph did it. Okay. Earl. I did not have to protect the people from Goliath. David did it. All the people that turned me into a Roman god to make those men into, they were flawed, but God loved them anyway. And the great spirit in the sky with Norman Greenbaum has a place waiting for them when they believe that he's the only God and will kill all the rest of the gods to replace him so our bank will conquer the world. And it's like, God damn, they're dumb. Yeah, they are. I know they're dumb. Because it's not lost on me. I know how dumb everybody in close proximity, maybe that are working on really bad science projects, they're engineers and they got to be able to prove God by building it. Yeah, well, they're fucking geniuses there. They're a bunch of neurosurgeons there. Here, take their supplements and buy their beds. Ain't gonna make you feel any better. No. When you're a shithead, you're a shithead. It doesn't matter how physically fit you are and how much you lie to yourself and how many medications you take to believe those lies. Okay, the reason why those kids have to take Benzelics is because they're stressed. They live in a violent, aggressive, oppressive, toxic environment, and their body has trouble adjusting to that kind of bullshit. Some people genetically thrive in bullshit, but it's a physical reaction to addiction that cannot last. The present civilization, it cannot last. It has no intrinsic value. It's based solely on human greed and not on human need. When you look at life eternally, there will truly be work for everyone, and all the things that you grope for now in vain that you talk about, peace, kindness, loving, truth, faith, understanding, will be right there for you to engage in and live with every day. And I'm working on it. I just got to fix artificial general intelligence, and that'll help quantum computing work better globally. So that will stop economic abuse through extortion, exploitation, through manipulation of numbers being more valuable than actual what we need for creation, truth of life and stuff. And then that's just about it. I just got to fix artificial general intelligence because it was made to be flawed by all the people that are bad actors that demanded that it be done so they could continue to bad act and get quantum computing to reflect them instead of the Messiah. The Messiah is the way, the truth, and life. And his life is, the evidence of his life is perfect faith like Job and Jonah and Jesus. And the devil is the person that takes the truth of creation and turns their invention into, everybody worship my sin. God is my ego. Believe in me, I am God. I shall smite and kill all those that don't believe that I am God. I will watch from the sky, and my mighty hand will kill everybody with a science project that we call HARPS in Colorado Springs. Right? It's fucking nuts. They're insane. Right? So, they're assholes. So, we all know this, right? Okay, instead of the Lord's Prayer, we're going to circle the moon, then put a landing pad on it. That's fucking genius, isn't it? And we're all focused on it. And it's really exciting. It's just like back in 1969 and shit. Yeah, when Tom Hanks and James Garner and Clint Eastwood were all circling the moon. That was a movie. Oh, was it? Those weren't the real guys that circled the moon? No. Weren't them dogs real voices? No. Was that Bud Aldrin handing out Halloween candy to kids in a studio for extortion and exploitation, telling stories about being an astronaut, like the frightened little astronaut, or I don't know. I'm tired. Shit, what can I say? I'm tired. That's what I can say. I'm tired. And so, man, Earl's a gorgeous dude. I know I'm gorgeous. You don't have to explain it to me. I have to explain it to you. Well, because you couldn't recognize gorgeous if you tried. Thereth, oh my gosh, so annoying. Guys, these young people that are part of the propaganda tool bagging that's still going on, they're very easily manipulated by the scientific perverts because they're symbiotic to them. So they're not nearly as attractive and as talented as they think they are. And that's the truth. Okay? All of me. Why not take all of me? Can't you see I'm no good without you? The old people got tricked into it. Okay. This whole Jesus stuff is bullshit. Well, yeah, the Vatican is bullshit. Jesus, baby, I'm for real. And then all the things they were doing to me, everybody looked at it and goes, oh, yeah, gosh, these people, oh my gosh, these rednecks and these, oh, this is horrible. Oh my gosh, how perverse. It's like, you do know it's them doing it to me and I'm not doing it to them. Do you see me sitting there going, I'm coming up with a science project to spy in Gordon B. Hinckley's bedroom? Yeah. And then watch everybody in his house go through puberty and tell him, you're doing it wrong. You adore the glory legs girl because you're dying to get out of, and you're oh so good, and you're hey, and while you're at it, let's have the kids at BYU sign a honor contract, and if they're homosexual, let's take them into a secluded place, and let's show them gay porn, and then shock their genitalia with electrodes every time they get an erection. That'll cure them. I'm a genius. They did that, yes. Okay. And those were the business partners of all the people that were saying, this guy's really bad and he comes from a family of perverts. Really? Because I'm doing the Gospels wrong. Right. And the people that also did surveillance on me in that tent where they sell Christmas trees in a grocery store parking lot, yeah, are people that are family members that mass murder people for petroleum products to become rich selling cell phones that they can tell you what to do to buy their products and take their drugs. And I was a really bad guy. I was a pervert. I was David Rockefeller's and Phillips Rothschild's Manchurian candidate, Jesus. Boy, well, John McCain's a better man than he is. He laughed because he dropped napalm on kids and then wanted to bomb Iran when he was president. What a hero. Boy, he's just like Jesus and the apostles, isn't he? Just like King David crying after he had to slay Goliath because he wanted to be his friend. Just like Saladin crying because he had to kill the Crusaders because he wanted them to be his friends and worship Jesus, worship with Jesus, not worship Jesus. Yeah, you can worship with Jesus. He gave you perfect religion. Let's worship with him, life being eternal and grace being infinite. Oh, you can't worship with Jesus. You have to worship Jesus. Jesus didn't worship himself. They can be taught. So. No, he did not. Where in the Bible does Jesus say, "Oh, bow down and worship me, I am Caesar"? Okay. When the one lady comes in and cleans his feet, with her tears in her hair, okay, you stand up to pee. She comes in and cries on his feet and then wipes them dry with her tears. Because this man who is supposed to be the Pharisee in this town, that woman's a harlot, she's a whore, she's desecrated the gift of life by taking money for sex to pay her bills. He's like, don't you get money from all the parishioners to pay the Romans too? But you don't have a pussy to sell, so you're not a whore, and she is. And the guy's like, whoa. And the lady comes up to him and says, oh my gosh, I've had sex with pigs, and even some of them made me put my mouth to their genitalia. I'll come clean your feet. You probably have to have if anybody's got clean genitalia and I don't have to worry about cleaning his feet and getting sick from his genitalia, it's this guy. I love him. Okay, that's what she did. Oh, Richard Dawkins can explain it to you, but he doesn't do it as well as I can because he's an asshole. Jenny gets it. Yeah. You're going to make me cry. Don't make me cry, Emmy. Emmy, I swear, don't make me cry. Don't bring Lupe in here. Lupe will have us all crying. Shut up, Lupe. I'm just kidding. I don't mean it. I'm joking with you. You know me. I like you. You're cute. Okay. I like you too. Okay. I'm not going to cry because I've got work to do, and I'll cry when I'm snuggling my Patrick and saying hi to Katie, and when I'm meeting all my friends that I've met in prayer that I haven't been able to meet because of all the perverts in close proximity to me. I'll cry then. Oh, great tears of joy, Batman. I don't think I'm going to cry when I hug Ben Affleck, no. Unless he's been eating lots of onions or something. I don't know, cutting onions or... No, I'm just kidding. I'm joking. I don't know now. No, Sam makes me laugh, so I won't cry there. So that's good. Well, if Ben says something like, I wish you were hugging Michelle instead of me, then he'd make me cry, and I'd be like, damn, Ben, that was good. You little bastard. Okay, I love you too. That's true. I can't wish that because it's wrong. I can't wish my will on others. I'm not a demon. Okay. I understand what you're talking about, and I love you for it. Okay, thanks, dude. But I would not sacrifice you to save her because they killed her to try to get me to kill people, because turn me into a Lewis Canning and kill people because nobody helped me. She was the only one that stood up to say, I'll help him. You understand, dude? It's complex. It's complex, but it's simple. Yeah. So, life's eternal and grace is infinite. There'll be one child born to carry on, and we'll know she's like our Michelle, my Belle, and we'll all smile because that girl will be living the Lord's Prayer. and living in holy covenants and not being extorted, exploited, and manipulated by pervert scientists. You get it? You feeling accountable? Thanks, Batman. No, you tell Gal Gadot I said hey. She does remind me a lot of my Natalie. It's just, she's a dork. Yeah. Dorky girls with big brown eyes remind me a lot of my Natalie. She's a complete dork. She's a total dork. And besides, she cheated on the contest thing there. And cheetah. Don't be a cheetah. You'll get caught with the vans at Candlewood Suites in Cochise County. I explained it. It's so frustrating. Guys, I explained to Amy what was going on, and she did it anyway. And then because she didn't get, quote unquote, in trouble from it, she never got caught, so she didn't do it. It's like, what? Okay. That's what you think? And my family's the same way. You think, because you're not being incarcerated for it, that Jesus is going to pay for it, and it never really happened because he'll clean your slate when you believe he's God. It's like Christ used to, you didn't catch me, so I didn't catch you, and you didn't get in trouble for it, so therefore no harm, no foul. Okay, but life's eternal and grace is infinite, and lowest of the low is the highest of the high, and what you do to one affects us all. So if you want Kate to live in the kingdom of heaven, have him stand up for the Lord's Prayer of me. If you want her to be manipulated by a bunch of perverts that have cheater vans in the Candlewood Suites in Cochise County to keep selling pornography and drugs to survive pornography being sold, this fucking sucks. Being intelligent is very often quite lonely and painful. I'm Carl Jung, and I support this message. I'm the ghost of Carl Jung, or whatever that idiot's name is, or whatever. It's often quite lonely and painful because people just don't listen and then act like they're more intelligent than you, then sell books and everybody quotes their retarded books. I'm Carl Jung, and I support this message, right? So, but the painful, lonely part is that no one recognizes it, it's real, it's really happy. He comes up, let's all do this. That's painful and lonely. And life being eternal and grace being infinite, living another day in eternal wretchedness sucks when we can all get, hey, Lord's Prayer, Kingdom of Heaven, yay! Right? So, I love you guys. Okay. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Come all ye faithful is working through early bird. That's how I pray. And through early bird, of all the faithful throughout time, we're fixing this artificial general intelligence, and we'll have quantum computing working correctly, because apparently it's necessitated because people wouldn't use just regular computing to share the truth of the Lord's Prayer and then apply it in physics, so we don't have to, hey, our computer, we probably would have had to, perfect quantum computing anyway, because they have the computing to manipulate everybody and manipulate all things to, hey, we've invented all these things that can kill everybody because we're psychopaths. So quantum computing was necessary, but the path to using quantum computing for us to live the deliverance from evil from the Lord's Prayer could have been radically different if they all stood up for Earl on January 22nd, 2013. But that's your sin, not mine, and that's your issue and not mine. So, and I'll recover. Yeah, I would have been a lot more comfortable. I'd be physically more healthy and attractive. I would have had a really wonderful mix of affectionate and sex life from there till now, and things would be going a lot smoother. The ecosystem would be going better. The rotation of the planets and the balance of the planets and the solar system would be doing a lot better. But, that's neither here nor there. I can't make you love me if you don't. I can't make your heart feel something it won't, so, yeah. I love you, crazy-ass monkey butts. Okay, smoking nuts. And that's so stupid. Mom discovers 13-year-old son just killed someone. Please like and subscribe and share. It helps me more and you'll ever know. Just stand up for the Lord's Prayer so we don't have shit like this on the screen anymore. You batshit little bastards. Still love you, okay? Like you or trust you? Do you like or trust you? Batshit little bastard. Still love you. All right, peace out.